Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome to your reading. For today's Pick a Card, we are going to be focusing on 2023 messages. Today I have 3 different piles for you to choose from. For pile number 1, I have picked out the Smoky Quartz Crystal. If you feel drawn to this one, you can jump down to the timestamp for pile number 1. Pile number 2, I've chosen the Angel Aura Quartz. And for pile number 3, we have the Dragon Palm Stone. If you need to, you can take a minute to pause the video, take a few deep breaths, meditate if you'd like, in order to tap into your own intuition, whether it's in your heart, in your gut, wherever you personally feel it in your body, in order to decide which number, which crystal, which card you feel the most drawn to. And whenever you're ready, you can meet me at the timestamp down below and we'll get into your 2023 messages. Thanks so much. Hey there, if you've chosen pile number 1, the Smoky Quartz Crystal, this is your 2023 message. Okay, so I'm laughing because right off the bat, it says number 1. So if you chose pile number 1, and we also happen to pick out the first card from the deck. So that's pretty aligned. If you're seeing a lot of 1s everywhere, if you're seeing 1111, things of that nature, that's just a sign that you're on the right path. Expect good things. As long as it's not something that's making you feel paranoid or scared, it's okay to follow those signs. Those are just like winks from the universe, spirit, source, whatever it is you believe in, just to let you know you're watched over, you're guided, you're protected, you're in alignment, you're on the path you need to be on. So again, as long as those angel numbers that you see in your environment cause you to feel at peace and aligned, it's okay. Again, because I think sometimes with angel numbers, people can get a little too paranoid or connect dots that aren't really there. Again, so the way to tell the difference is if it feels calming and peaceful, good sign. If it makes you feel delusional, paranoid, etc., that's when reel it in. Okay, so number 1, breakthrough into light. So the first message that's coming through this card, there's a cycle that needs to end. And it's quite timely, I would say, because it's a new year. New you, right? But this is asking you to be conscious of your darker patterns, your more negative patterns, your more destructive patterns. Perhaps there are certain things you have the awareness of, but now it's time to actually break through it, right? To actually get to the point where we're making different choices. So this isn't to say that certain scenarios in 2023 are going to not remind you of perhaps past experiences from 2022. What's going to actually probably happen is you're going to have many encounters, experiences that are very reminiscent of 2022. But this card is reminding you, this oracle is asking you to make a different choice this time. And it doesn't not have to be a radically different choice. It can just be a slightly different choice. That's how you can experiment and see what the outcome will be. You know, be an experimenter in your own life. Be a scientist in your own life, which I know might sound kind of strange for a tarot reader to say, but yeah, try some experiments. If you have a certain scenario come up and typically you wouldn't say something, you wouldn't speak up for yourself, maybe try this time, you know, and you don't have to tell somebody off, but perhaps just saying, oh, I didn't like that. Just simply saying how you felt in the moment. That's just one example. Or it could be something like, typically maybe if you would take the bait in a certain scenario, like there's certain negative, argumentative patterns that you get kind of like sucked into with certain people. This time, you know, when the bait is dangled right in front of you, it's so easy to just like bite onto it and latch onto it. Maybe this is the time to just pretend like you didn't hear it. Protecting your own peace, walking away, you know? So take this as it resonates. Take it as if you typically don't speak up and you need to say something, or typically you would take the bait and maybe now's the time to just pull your energy back, not engage, because it's not worth your time. It's not worth your energy. So depending on your specific situation, take the message, break through into the light as it resonates with you specifically. All right. Let's get into some tarot cards. going to begin shuffling. We're going to see what messages for 2023 is pile number 1 need to hear. Not 2020. Wow, I just said 2021. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that's probably an indication that maybe some scenarios or patterns you experienced back in 2021, maybe they started in 2021 and now they're wrapping up in 2023. That could be a message for some members of the collective that I'm currently reading for. All right, let me see. Already I pulled the Lovers in reverse and I pulled the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So, okay. What are these other 2? Oh, that's not 2 cards. That's like 4. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see what's happening. What's happening? Okay, this feels like it should go here. This feels like it should go here. So the first thing that's jumping out to me is that there's a lot of indecision when it comes to relationship choices, as well as how you want to earn your money. So the reason why I'm saying that is because I pulled the 7 of Cups. We see an individual who's looking at all these options, wondering, deciding what could be the best opportunity for them, but they're not really taking action towards any of them. And not only that, a lot of these things, the glory, the riches, the ascension, whatever it is you want to call it, I would really take stock of whether or not the things you perhaps are lusting after are even things you really even want. Because whenever 7 of Cups appears, especially in conjunction with the Pentacle card and the Lovers card in reverse, that's feeling like, for instance, wanting a wedding ring when maybe you don't even know your own boundaries within a relationship yet. Or it could be wanting a designer bag when you even haven't figured out your life purpose yet. You know, things like that where it's materialistic almost, or it's status oriented, and it's not actually rooted in your own values and what you really believe in. And it's not wrong to want those things. I just said those things before as examples. It's not wrong to want those things. It's okay to want those things. The 7 of Cups is just asking you, do you feel like you need those things because you feel inferior? Because you think those things will give you a sense of status? Because you believe those things will do something for you to make you somebody? Because the honest to God truth is they won't. They won't. If you say like you achieved all 7 of these opportunities that are in front of you, that you're not really picking the right one or figuring out which one is most in alignment with you, rather, you're still going to be in the same patterns regardless. They'll just be magnified because perhaps there's more money involved or there's another person involved. You see what I'm saying? So I pulled the Lovers in reverse and I pulled the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. And these are the main reasons why I was really feeling like perhaps it's a good time for you to investigate deeply what it is you truly find fulfilling when it comes to relationship and when it comes to your material needs. Because in the upright, 9 of Pentacles, we're feeling quite abundant. Pentacles are about earth energy, resources, material gain. And she looks really content. But in the reverse, it's feeling like there's something gnarly happening there. And then with the Lovers in reverse too, in the upright, this is like the Gemini card, if that matters to you at all. And I also had the 2 of Cups. And the 2 of Cups does represent 2 energies coming together, like in both. This is major arcana, this is minor arcana, so this kind of complements each other. But this showed up in the reverse, so perhaps if there's a certain type of person you typically go for in a relationship, I feel like your message for 2023 is be open-minded to the fact that perhaps what it is you wanted on paper isn't necessarily in your highest good. Be really open-minded to how situations feel. Not how they look, but how do they feel? Do they feel aligned? Do they feel supportive? Do they feel loving? Like truly loving? Again, not just focusing on like a rock on your finger, but being understood. held in an energetic space that is nurturing and loving and peaceful and kind, etc., etc., or whatever it is that feels most authentic to you. I also pulled the Five of Swords in reverse, and I pulled the Three of Pentacles. This is feeling like a reevaluation of what kind of work you see as being important to your own development, to your own soul journey, as opposed to, oh, what is everyone else thinking? Or as opposed to, oh, this is going to look good on my resume, as opposed to, when I go to parties and people ask me what I do, this is what I say and it makes me sound good, you know, things like that. I really feel like the overall message that I am getting for 2023 for pile number 1 is really ground yourself in your own energy and determine, what do you care about? These cycles of feeling not good enough because there's all these different things dangling in front of you that you think you should want, really interrogate that more deeply. I feel like that's the biggest message. Well, pile number 1, that's all I have for you. And I just realized I forgot to flip your hourglass over. So I think that's also symbolic of the fact that now is a really good time to take a purposeful pause and to remember that you're not on anyone else's timeline and you have enough time to figure it out. If you're feeling rushed or pushed at all to go out and achieve and get these things, trust that the path will unfold in the time that it is meant to. Trust that the path is guiding you to your highest purpose, your highest good, so long as you are truly following, listening to your inner voice. I know you have difficulty doing that. I really feel like in 2023, this breakthrough into light, you're probably going to be having serendipitous encounters with people, being drawn to certain teachers, certain readers, etc., who will teach you that skill of learning how to be more authentic to yourself and following your gut. Thank you so much for watching. As with any tarot reading, take what resonates, take the guidance that helps you today, and leave the rest. And have a wonderful 2023. Bye. Hey there. If you chose pile number 2, the Angel Aura Quartz, these are your 2023 messages. Endings for beginnings with the number 4. This is feeling like your 2023 is going to look extremely different from your 2022, so long as you are willing to surrender to the cycle of death and rebirth. And that doesn't have to be a literal death, more of a metaphorical death. So, for example, leaving a certain relationship in order to create space for better love to come in, or leaving a certain job in order to create the opportunity for a better opportunity to come along. So this is really asking you to mourn those endings and grieve them appropriately as needed, but also to always keep the higher perspective that this is all opening you up for something that is so much better, so much more fulfilling, so much more authentically aligned with who you are. So this is feeling a bit sorrowful to me because it's like finishing a book that you really maybe at one point really enjoyed or really cared about, but it's coming to a close and it's time to put it down, and you're going to find a book you like even more, perhaps, And I'm going to start pulling some tarot cards so that we can clarify these messages a little bit more. So if there are some things that you need to let go of, where it really has run its course, but it's just so sad to let go, that's okay. And I completely understand why it's so painful and sad to let go. High Priestess. But it's really feeling like whatever is ending, it's truly because something better is coming for you in 2023. So mourn as necessary, whether it's, I'm always encouraging people to have ceremonies, whether it's just lighting a candle and writing out how you're feeling, something as simple as that, or speaking aloud, something that you need to say to someone, but maybe doing it within the privacy and the protection of your own private ritual, as opposed to this person, you know, who maybe it's not as safe to communicate with them. To really just mark these endings and beginnings so that you energetically can signal to yourself that it is time to move forward from something. Well, would you look at that? Okay. So on the topic of endings and moving forward, I pulled the 5 of Pentacles in reverse. So in the upright, this is usually indicative of tougher times, a lack mindset, feeling scarcity. It showed up in the reverse though, so I really do feel like this is confirmation that whatever it is that is holding you back currently, if you are willing and able and brave enough to let it go, even if you're not sure why or what is coming next, but you just feel that it's over. It's for an alignment with a timeline that is very shadowy right now, and you're really just going to have to dig deep and have faith. And the reason why I'm saying that, I know that was kind of a weird message, but I pulled the High Priestess with the Moon. These are 2 very shadowy, deeply, deeply intuitive energies. And what's so interesting about these energies is that I really feel like this is a challenging pile, to be honest. I think 2023 is going to be challenging because I think it's going to involve you letting go of things and not really being sure what is coming after it and not being really sure what is replacing it. So this is asking you to just trust those intuitive knowings. When you're having those whispers that turn into shouts within your own being that are saying, something's off, it's time to go. Truly honor that. You're really being asked to connect to your intuitive self, into those nudges, because again, if you don't listen to those nudges, I really feel like it'll turn into screams. And I do not see the Tower card here, which is usually indicative of something like really sudden and intense, a big change, something I kind of, to me, the energy of the Tower feels more like something you don't see coming that completely transforms your life. But I don't see that here. What this really feels like is that perhaps when you make the decision and just to trust and have faith that, okay, if you walk away from a certain situation, it's going to work out in the end. This is really asking you to just like have that faith and to again, listen to yourself, please, because you don't want it to turn into a Tower moment, because that's way more traumatic in my opinion, where it's really sudden, it's really intense. This is feeling more like you already know what it is that it needs to end. You just got to be the one to decide to actually walk away. And the reason why I say it's got to be you, I don't really think it's going to be someone leaving you. This doesn't feel like you're going to be fired. This doesn't feel like someone's going to break up with you. This feels like it's going to have to be on you to make the choice, to decide that you want better for yourself and that you deserve better for yourself. And I know that's really, really hard, especially when we're in certain situations and the comfort of the known is so appealing in certain ways, even if it's painful. So I pulled the Page of Swords. So this is really feeling like you're really just going to have some blind faith going forward. So swords and pages. So swords are indicative of mental energy, thoughts, the mind, etc. And pages are a little bit less experienced. They're starting out. But the Page of Swords in particular does have the nerve. To me, the Page of Swords kind of reminds me of the Fool in terms of their body language. If you've ever seen the Fool card where it shows someone prancing off the cliff. But it's almost like the Page of Swords just feels a little bit more like little bit more, like a little less maybe lighthearted, a little bit more like, I'm going on a quest. I'm going to learn something. And through that quest, they will be transformed into a more mature version of the page. So I really feel like these decisions to walk away from things that are no longer serving you anymore, that are no longer making you feel fulfilled, that don't feel authentic to you anymore, the decision to leave and to seek better and to be open to learning, I really feel like that is what is going to mature you the most in 2023. That's the thing. This is feeling like a story of maturation in terms of trusting your own intuitive abilities and not staying in situations just because they're convenient or because it's what you've known. To listen to that inner voice that says, go, leave, try this instead. And I know that can be really terrifying. I know that can be really scary because I pulled the 3 of Wands in reverse. So in the upright, Wands are about our passions, our motivations, it's fire energy. And when it's in the upright position, 3 of Wands typically feels like we're looking out onto new horizons. We're determining where we could go next. And it's generally a positive feeling, in my opinion. But in the reverse, again, this is really feeling like the murkiness of the moon, because the moon card, a lot is cloaked, a lot is shrouded in darkness. What I'm picturing is, imagine you're driving in the dark, in complete darkness, and your headlights are on, but you can only see maybe a couple hundred yards in front of you. But guess what? You can drive from New York to California in complete darkness, only seeing a couple hundred yards in front of you, theoretically, and you can still make it to your destination. You can still make it there. As long as you trust and keep your eyes on the road and pay attention and look for those signs, you know, like signposts on the road. It's like, look for those in your own life, of where to go next. Because this is really feeling like the path is going to be revealed to you when it is the right time. This does not feel like the kind of thing where suddenly you're going to wake up from like a dream and you're going to be like, I know exactly what I'm doing next. I know exactly where I'm going. This is feeling like 2023. I think the way it ends up is going to be really surprising to you, actually. And you're going to look back at the end of 2023 and be like, wow, when this year started, who knew? Who knew that this was the path I'd be on? Who knew this would unfold? Which is very exciting. And also it can be terrifying because, again, it is the unknown. But just really dig into that Page of Swords type of just like determination of, I got this. I can learn. That youthful enthusiasm, find that within you. It doesn't matter your age. And you don't have to be an expert. That's the other thing too. If you're worried about saying, oh, I can't leave this job because I'm not qualified to go to this place, or, oh, I could never possibly have this type of relationship or have this type of lifestyle because I don't know the right people. This is really feeling like you will meet those people. You will learn those skills as long as you have a beginner's mindset that is just enthusiastic and shows up and makes the decision to learn. Cool. I also pulled the 6 of Pentacles. So this is interesting because the 6 of Pentacles, to me, always feels like a bit of an overflow of your abundance, where you've learned enough where you can also give back a little bit as well. So if you do have fears about, again, like scarcity, walking away from something, I really feel like it's going to work out. You're going to be okay. But again, I think it's taking that initial leap of faith that is going to be perhaps the most challenging for you in 2023. But overall, I feel like your journey of 2023 is really going to be teaching you how to become the high priestess, how to become a person who has such a deep intuitive knowing within their own gut, their own heart. They feel deeply connected to spirit, source, whatever it is you believe in, the universe, etc., whatever you want to call it. Just they have this eternal, timeless type of wisdom that guides them where they need to go. And this is feeling like you are already naturally intuitive, you're already feeling these knowings, but perhaps you're just not in a place where you listen to it yet. So again, endings for beginnings. I'm just picturing a circle going in a loop, but it's like a spiral and it's going upward. So, okay, so this is ending, but guess what? Right around the corner, there's something else. Okay, right around the corner, there's something else. So have faith, trust the path. And thank you so much for tuning in for your reading. As with any tarot reading, only take the guidance that helps you, that resonates, and leave the rest. Thank you so much. Bye. Hey there, pile number 3. If you chose the Dragon Palm Stone, welcome to your 2023 message. We have number 15, special healing for the open-hearted. So immediately, this is feeling like perhaps my most emotionally sensitive group that I've read for these 2023 messages. This is feeling like a group that perhaps describe themselves as maybe being too emotional, too sensitive, or oh, this is interesting. It could also be people who know that they are that sensitive, so in order to cope with that, have really created a shell over their own heart because they know it's like a soft, squishy center on the inside, and therefore they have to maintain forms of protection in any way that they've adapted to in order to survive. So the first thing that's coming through for 2023 for you is that I think you're going to realize that your sensitivity, where regardless of whether or not you're a person where it's like on the surface and you're very outwardly emotional or sensitive, or you're a person who deep inside you are, but you've really shielded yourself and as a form of self-protection, wherever you fall on that spectrum, at the end of the day, you are a very sensitive person. This is feeling like 2023 is going to teach you to see this sensitivity as the source of your greatest strength rather than a detriment. So the first thing I want to say, this might sound a little strange, but I'm so sorry that you've been made to feel like your sensitivity is not a gift. I'm so sorry that you've been made to feel like your capacity to feel deeply or to pick up on energies around you, to be affected by things. I'm so sorry that you've been made to feel throughout whatever traumas you sustained in your life that there is something wrong with you, because there's not. There's that Rumi quote that I may be misquoting slightly, but the general message of it is, the wound is where the light enters you. So this is really feeling like that which causes you the most pain, the thing that you're most ashamed of about yourself, which is feeling like that vulnerability, that sensitivity at the root, it's actually going to be the source of your greatest healing in 2023, which is excellent. And I think 2023 is really going to open your eyes to seeing yourself in a different way, to see that you have the capacity not only to heal yourself and your relationship with your sensitivity, but also to heal other people without you even knowing it. We can heal people even just by saying the right thing at the right time, just to alter someone's perspective. We don't even know we're doing it sometimes. And I think you're one of those people where you may not even be aware that you're doing that. And I think this is going to be the year where you're going to be more conscious of the impact you have on other people when it comes to your natural intuitive abilities that stem from your deep, deep sensitivity that exists inside of you. And I also feel like you're going to be asked this year, if you want to undergo this self-healing and then be more conscious as you extend it onto others. I really feel like 2023 is asking you to be along for the ride, because healing isn't always pretty and it's not always fun. Think about when you're running a race and you trip and you fall and you get an injury. The injury looks pretty gnarly at first, and there's a natural healing process that must occur. You'd have to clean out the wound, you'd have to bandage it, rehabilitate it, etc. But it doesn't mean you're not healing. So while you're undergoing this deep healing process, which I really feel like is what's in store for you for 2023, be conscious of the fact that even if the healing doesn't always feel the nicest or look the prettiest, it's ultimately in service of your highest good. All right. So, the beginning of the year, I've got 5 of Wands and 10 of Wands in reverse. So immediately, you know what I was saying before about feeling like your sensitivity is a problem. Feeling like your heart is a liability rather than an asset. If you've been around others who are perhaps less sensitive, less emotionally intelligent, not as maybe conscious of the impact that they're having on other people, please don't take that and direct it inward at yourself. I really feel like you're being called to stand in your truth and to change your perspective on what's occurring. So in 2023, if people say, oh, you're so sensitive, or oh, you're so this, or oh, you're so that, your answer is going to be, you can say it internally if you don't really want to say it externally, is going to be, yeah, and what about it? Because it's only an insult if you view it that way. And I pulled the Justice card. Okay. Huh. So this is Libra energy, if that matters to you. I really feel like this is asking you to seek more balance and moderation in how you view yourself. So with the 10 of Wands in reverse, so in the upright, this is like the typical, you're doing too much, you're carrying all these burdens on your back, you really need to put these wands down, basically. In the reverse, it's feeling like a lot of emotional burdens, a lot of heartache, a lot of grudges that perhaps you've been healing for a really, really long time or carrying for a really, really long time. And it really feels like 2023 is going to be the year that you finally put them down. But I think that is only going to occur when you learn how to have a more objective, fair, and balanced view of yourself. So if you are beating yourself up for your natural gifts, for your sensitivity, for the things that you have been shamed for in the past, and it's not your fault that you were shamed for them, it's not at all. But now it is your responsibility. And I'm being a little more stern in this reading. This is weird because I wasn't doing this the other 2 readings, but I feel like more stern because I feel like I just need to like kind of like the Justice card, like cut through it with the sword to just be like, it is on you to change your self-image, to change the way in which you look at yourself, and to start being on your own team and start advocating for yourself and to be that protector of your tender heart. Because why would you stick another sword inside your own heart? And why would you be against yourself at this point? That's not fair to you. It's truly not. And it's really feeling like in 2023 is going to be the year where you're going to have a heart opening and a lot of healing, but at the same time, getting a backbone. And I'm not saying you don't have one, but it's more like, again, that, oh, you're so this, you're so that. And then your response being, yeah, and what about it? Yes, I am those things. And I see it as a strength. It's not an insult. It's not a weakness. You just don't understand it. That's kind of what feels like the shift that needs to occur internally, where you become your own protector. You don't need other people to protect you. You can stand up for yourself now. I'm not saying you don't need other people for support, but this is really feeling like this is going to take an internal shift for you personally. And you're completely capable of doing it. And I think the reason why I am speaking a little bit more sternly to this pile than maybe I have to the other ones is because you need to start taking yourself a little bit more seriously, I feel. I feel like you need to start Like, stop downplaying your gifts. And they're like, oh, I'm so this. Like, stop. Cut it out. It's not fair to you anymore. So I pulled the Nine of Cups in reverse. So in the upright, this is a feeling of contentment. We're satisfied. In the reverse, I think you know that the way you've been doing things and the way you've been perhaps beating yourself up or been in conflict with other people is really exhausting you. It's really taking a toll on you. And I think a lot of times the energy that you're picking up, like for instance, when you feel really anxious, when you feel really intensely, I would be conscious of the fact of, again, because you are so sensitive, whether you maybe have been tapping into it or not, be aware of when that energy is yours and belongs to you and when it's someone else's. And that kind of goes back to the whole learning to be more fair to yourself. Learn to have that backbone of saying, just because this other person is coming at me with a certain energy and I'm so sensitive and I can pick up on it, doesn't mean that it belongs to me. It's more of getting to a point of noticing and being like, okay, I can really feel what's going on here. I can really feel what's going on here. Okay, and that's just information. Like, kind of, again, being very kind of like objective and fair with yourself with the Justice card. Of just really, like, if you're not familiar with Libra energy and what it represents, I would go look that up. And not like pop culture, like, oh, Libras are just flirts and so indecisive. I'm talking like, what does it really represent? The most evolved form of Libra energy about justice, diplomacy, fairness, equality, harmony. That's like what we're looking for here. Harmony within your own self and your own spirit. So this is wonderful because I pulled the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is classic. We are doing so well abundantly, materially. Our money's good. Our needs are being met physically, materially. It's a wonderful place to be at. So if you've been protecting yourself because deep down you feel really vulnerable, I want you to know that I think when you actually learn to tap into your own vulnerability, your own sensitivity, and just learn how to use it, like use your gifts properly, I think that you'll be so shocked by the way it pays off materially, because we typically don't associate being sensitive or being emotional, quote unquote, with leading to good material gains. Because sometimes I think there's a stereotype, especially because, you know, we exist under capitalism where, oh, if you want to make a lot of money, you got to be kind of like a shark. You got to be really cold-blooded, and that's the only way it's ever going to work. If you're a big softie, it's not going to happen. And with some people, sure, maybe that is true, but with you in particular, I don't think that is the route for you. I think the route for you is to embrace your vulnerability, embrace your sensitivity, tap into your emotions, and use them to your advantage. Because, so I have the Four of Cups in reverse. So in the upright, here's a person looking at these cups, and they're ignoring the Ace of Cups that is being offered to them. They're not seeing the other opportunity that is available to them. In the reverse, this is really feeling like if you can learn how to harness your gifts properly, the gift of your sensitivity, and use it to your advantage, whether it's finding a field where being sensitive and emotionally intelligent is to your benefit, helps you be really good at your job, things like that. I think you're setting yourself up for success if you do that. I think if you try to force yourself to fit into boxes and to go after opportunities that demonize your natural gifts, the natural way you are wired and meant to be, I think you're just going to constantly hit a wall and feel really dissatisfied. So I really do feel like this is the year of 2023 for you. Feels like there's going to be a lot of healing when it comes to how you view yourself. The things that you thought were fundamentally wrong with you, I'm seeing like a complete switch around where you see, no, those things that are wrong with me, when I heal and harness them effectively, they are my greatest strengths. They are like my X-Men superpower. I would also recommend, if you're not familiar with Chiron in astrology, that is representative of your greatest, deepest wounding. But again, back to that Rumi quote, the wound is where the light enters you. So that which is your greatest pain, when harnessed and healed effectively, can actually be your greatest gift to the world. And I really feel like 2023 for you is going to be the year that you discover that and you protect that. And you deserve that. Because you don't deserve to be beat up for the way that you naturally are. The way that you are is beautiful and needs to be embraced and taken care of and loved. Whew. That was an intense one. Damn. All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. As with any tarot reading, only take the guidance that helps you and resonates with you and leave the rest. Thank you so much, and I wish you the best 2023. Bye.